Hello agro-lovers, welcome back to your favorite agriculture and agribusiness YouTube channel. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about drought stress in plants, drought stress in crop production, the causes, the symptoms, and how farmers can actually control this. And to do this with me is Dr. Reza.
It is not like we have concept that it can be shortage of water.
Okay.
It is multi-dimensional stress. It can be due to low rainfall, due to salinity stress, and due to high temperature, and sometimes due to low temperature. Because when there is low temperature, it goes below zero. There are ice crystals can be formed in leaves. So these ice crystals make water
unavailable to plants.
Yeah, and also high intensity of light that can cause drought stress because it can ultimately cause heat and it can reduce water.
Okay.
And also.
What about wind? High.
Dry wind.
Dry wind.
Yeah, that can
also cause drought stress in plants. So basically, all these factors, looking at it, they are factors that affect the availability of water to plants.
Yes.
So anything that affects the availability, that will affect the
plant water.
Plant water, access to water will actually cause drought stress in plants. So those signs that we'll notice with the plant.
We can see visibly sometimes, visibly dry vegetation, leaves can start wilting, and many times, and that is the severe stress, drought stress, when there is droppings of fruit, premature fruit. Yeah, but drought stress and its consequences, they also affect on different growth stages.
Okay.
So sometimes at seedling stage, plants can recover. Sometimes, if it is severe drought, plants die at seedling stage. So, but that is not big loss. Farmer can grow something else, or again the wheat or whatever you are growing.
Okay. So, I say that drought, as we all know, it's a global problem that affects smallholder farmers.
Yeah.
It have varying effects on the income of farmers who depend largely on farming activity. So what are those things that the problem it results to? Should be telling us what are the effects drought stress have on crop production, on even the farmer's income?
It can affect directly plant growth and development and economically important portions of plants like grains or fruits, so which can cause economic loss for farmers. But we can manage this drought stress in various ways.
Okay, so before you go to the management aspect of it, you actually made mention of that it's reduced productivity.
Yeah.
And if I'm right, I think because water is a very, very essential component that plants make use in producing their food.
Yeah, because water goes from roots to upper parts of the plant, and it can take nutrients, and because of drought, so it also causes nutrient deficiency.
If there is no water, plants will not be able to uptake nutrients, and they will not be able to perform what we call photosynthesis.
Yes.
So, and it has been proven that in coffee, for example, that the yield can reduce up to 80% if the field is affected by drought and you don't put in place irrigation.
Yeah, this is just one example. There are so many examples. The whole crop, sometimes 100% yield loss.
Yield loss. So it's a very, very serious
it has actually 3 divisions. Sometimes it can be moderate and severe and mild.
And mild. So, having said that, drought, I think there are levels to it.
Yeah, to manage drought, first we must know that the level of drought stress. It can be mild, moderate, or severe drought. So it depends on the available water. for available water for field capacity, like how much water your soil is containing at that time. For example, if it is mild drought, water should be 75%. That is okay. Crops these days, crops are enough resistant to compensate with that 25% of water. They don't need 100% of water. But if it is 55% of water, from 45 to 55%, in that range, that is moderate drought. That can be compensated, that can be recovered. We can use various strategies to recover that moderate drought. And then there is the third category, that is severe drought. Yeah. And in severe drought, water shortage is 35% or
very,
less
very
than
low.
Yeah, too low. Like,
and in that cases, it can result into great loss.
Yeah, we can see visibly if it is less than 35, there are some cracks in the soil.
In the soil, okay.
Yeah.
So that will tell you definitely there is no water in the soil.
Yeah, and also at that time, at severe drought, if it is for short time, it's okay. If there is rainfall or some chances of rainfall, it can be recovered. But if it is long-term severe drought, that will automatically decrease yield to 100% or more than 80%.
Yeah, thank you so much. So lastly, before we go, Dr. Isa will be telling us, farmers, how to compensate, how to control the effect of drought stress on our crop, on our plant, on our farm. So
we can use mulching or crop covers,
okay,
to avoid evaporation. Yeah. And we can use some drought resistant varieties.
Very, very important.
Yeah, that is the important thing, because we know that in which region how much drought usually occurs. So that is not unpredictable. We know that because of climate change, everything has been changed in every region. We know that drought is going to be more and more severe. So drought resistant varieties are highly encouraged to use that.
Because all those varieties would have little requirement for water.
Yeah, and also
so they are less affected.
Yeah.
So what other things farmers can put in?
So the last but not least, we can use drought priming. This word may be a new word for farmers, but not new for scientists, because they have worked a lot on drought priming. We normally do seed priming. We apply some water before sowing, and seed can be ready to grow. But we have never, at farmer level, they don't they don't sometimes believe on drought priming. But drought priming is to apply drought to compensate with drought. So the thing is, the phenomena behind this is, when we know that on this stage or in this season there may be severe drought or moderate drought, so before that time, normally it is like common every year. So we must know that in this season there may be low rainfall, and weather predictions can also tell us that in next month there will be less rainfall or too heat. And so in that case, you can apply mild to moderate drought, so that plant can be ready for the upcoming stress. And when there will be actual drought come, plant will be automatically ready for stress.
Yeah.
In plant there are various mechanisms like hormones or enzymes. So they already try to get stable for upcoming drought.
So that the upcoming drought will not come and they will be very new to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
But this can be helpful for short-term droughts, especially after reproductive stage, like when there are flowering stage or grain filling stage, or like that, and fruiting time. So at that time, if you know that in your region normally drought comes, so we can apply drought a little bit early, but not too severe drought, mild to moderate drought. So that can make the plant primed, and when there will be original drought come, plant will be ready to compensate, to cope with that drought.
Thank you so much. So you've heard it today, what it takes to control the effect of drought stress on our plants, and to save us losing our crop to drought. So before we go, we would like to remind viewing farmers once again that just like drought stress, it's just like opposite of flooding.
Yes.
It's just like opposite of flooding. Flooding is when there's too much water washing away your farm. Whereas drought stress is where there's no shortage of water. So on this note, we've come to the end of today's topic, and we hope you got value one way or the other. If you actually find this video interesting and helpful one way or the other, kindly give it a like and share with your friends.